For the first time in several years, Liberty Coach has built a show coach to show off some really cool new features. Today we're with Frank Koenigsetter, VP of Liberty Coach. How are you today, sir?
Great, sir. How are you?
Great. Always an honor to see the latest and greatest. And It's been several years since Liberty Coach has built a show coach.
Yes, it has been. We had slated this coach to be debuted at the Prevost 100th anniversary this past September in Quebec City. It arrived just in time for that. There's some new features that are available upgrades to people as they're building coaches if they want to do them. They were designed by Kurt and Kim Koenigsetter, my brother and sister-in-law. A lot of us didn't ever see these new things until it actually came to Quebec City, so it was really cool to see everything. It's really, really outstanding.
We just got a sneak preview. Very impressive stuff. You're always pushing the industry. What is the current build time on building a new Liberty Coach, and is this show coach available?
This show coach is spoken for at this point. We're looking at doing new orders for builds that are getting into probably June, July of 2026 at this point.
So is this coach a 2025?
Yes, it is. It is a triple super slide in the rear with the super suite. It has an L booth on the inside. It's got the extended galley. It is a bath and a half unit as well. The paint job on the outside of it, we went to Dean and said, let's do a paint job that would be considered a normal paint job, not an artistry series paint job. And so that's what he came up with here. We did the option of doing the painted door handles. The outcome of it was very special.
Yes, sir. We've seen quite a few artist series come through. A lot of the Liberty Coach owners, they want every option possible. Artist series is a pretty expensive option. Even without that artist series, still every Dean Laux paint job is just on another level.
Yeah, it sure is.
Dean Laux and his team has been painting every Liberty Coach for well over 10 years now.
Oh yeah, we started in 2012, so we're well into our 12th year with Dean.
And now that's a huge expense, having a world-renowned artist paint every single Liberty Coach. What is the reason that you choose to partner with Dean on that?
2012, we started with Dean mainly because of the fact that all the coaches that were coming at you were looking the same. Swirls, colors, you couldn't identify between a Prevost or a Class A. We already had a relationship with Dean because he did some specialty projects for us in the past. I went to him and said, could you think about doing something for us here? Minds came together, designs came together. The whole entire job was going to need to be done at his shop, so we had to change our business model as far as production to have the coach come to us in a primered format, then go to Dean, and then come back to us to do the interior. You know, we knew right away that we were going to have to do everything with him.
There's nothing like a Liberty Coach out there. The exterior deserves an artist paint job because the interior is a piece of artwork as well. Your sister-in-law has done an incredible job with design, and I think the viewers are going to really like the new features that are added in this coach. Really just took the interior to the next level.
Absolutely.
Well, can we take a closer look at this coach?
Yeah, absolutely. First bay here is a total pass-through bay, as our traditional coaches have been since coach 908 to the full blackout look on the inside. Also, the undermount drawer slides, self-closers on here, and then we have our slide-out tray mechanism, which we build in-house. The reason we do that is it gives us more storage height as opposed to the other ones that are marketable out there, which are taller. So we have the ability to have more storage capability. Awning chairs you have are mounted on the back side of the first and second bay doors on either side for the exterior chairs. Second bay here, storage above as well. And then again, a full pass-through bay here like the first bay is. And then we have the 65-inch roll-out TV mechanism that we manufacture in-house. So, and that swivels all the way around.
Very smooth and very robust.
Yep.
I'm seeing some panel boxes here in this bay. What's going on with some of these boxes that we're seeing?
They are the AC distribution boxes. So all of your AC components, 110, 220 volt components, are powered by these boxes here, and they're done via flat panel. This is the Maritz Octoplex system that we've had in place since 2007. Somewhat bulletproof system for us for all those years. Gives us the ability to remote control operate those circuit breakers either by its flat panel or by wireless through iPad or some other control devices. Third bay passenger side, this is what we would consider our entertainment center bay. We have the roll-out grill here, so you take the grill out, put on a table, power it up. Storage drawers all the way along, refrigerator, restaurant control panel down here, so we can control all of the aspects of the coach, exterior and interior, from here as well. And then we do have a separate remote control for operating the audio video down here as well.
And then I'm noticing these Liberty Coach lights here with the Liberty Coach logo on it, a signature Liberty Coach feature.
We've had those lights now for a number of years. We've had those specifically made for us. They're a naval bronze casting that's plated. It goes through a big test series to make sure that the plating stays on, it doesn't tarnish. It's LED, it is dimmable as well. So we've had those standard on our coach for a number of years.
And I'm noticing the positioning of these lights. They're going to be closer to the ground when the bay door is closed and when the bay comes up at about chest height. Is there a reasoning for the positioning of these lights?
Mainly for when you're outside utilizing this area here to have this lit without having the whole exterior of the coach lit up. When the door closes, they will turn off. Fourth bay passenger side here, we've got storage drawers here. And on the other side of this is going to be the DEF tank and the fuel tank for the coach as well. So the fuel capacity is 200 gallons. DEF, I believe, is 32 liter, if I'm not mistaken, something in that range. We have fuel fill locking fuel door here. And then on the other side of the coach, there's a locking fuel door for both the fuel and DEF. So you can put that all in the same location on the driver's side. We have the condenser for the dash and the passenger AC control system right here. Water compartment here, fifth bay. We've got the Culligan reverse osmosis system here, our water pump, the 40-gallon water heater, heated from the main engine through a heat exchanger from the antifreeze of the main engine, or it's heated by electric, so generator or shore power. And it's also heated from the S-bar diesel-fired furnace because that heats the main engine, which then circulates to heat the water here as well. Again, that's 40 gallons. The stainless steel fresh water tank, aluminum holding tank. Capacities on there are right around 170 gallons. Fresh water tank is stainless steel, so it keeps the water nice and clean inside, so you don't have to worry about, any growth and what have you. We do recommend that tank get flushed probably about once a month, depending on how much you're using the coach. Reverse osmosis system, that goes to the refrigerator and the ice maker. We also have a tankless water heater, which heats the water to the shower valve. So if the main water heater goes down, you can keep hot water to the shower valve with the tankless system.
And 170 gallons of fresh water, that's some of the biggest tanks in the industry by far. The water heating system that you use is different than a lot of the hydronic heating systems in other motorhomes out there. How long has Liberty Coach been using this type of system?
Well over 30 years we've been doing it this way. So we've got a 83,000 BTU diesel-fired S-bar unit located above the fender well on the driver's side of the coach in the rear axle area. It circulates the engine coolant through that with a single pump that then circulates through the rest of the coach. So you've got multiple blowers in the coach that will come on thermostatically to heat those particular areas. That unit is keeping the engine then warm at 168 degrees all the time, as well as the transmission, because the heat exchanger from the transmission as well. So all of that is staying warm. So in extreme conditions, you can start the coach up and go ahead and leave if need be.
Okay, and have you ever thought about using a hydronic heating system instead of this type of system?
We have. It's space oriented, so you'd have to have more space for the system to utilize. This way, you have 40 gallons of hot water capacity sitting, as opposed to having to have the hydronic unit be your actual water heater as well. This way, the water is not being slowed down to be able to go through those systems to have hot water. You've got hot water sitting in the tank ready to go. So you have more volume coming from the faucets that way also. We also have recirculating pump as well, so you have hot water present at all the faucets immediately. So you're not wasting water waiting for the hot water to get to the faucet also.
And does that power the heated floors as well?
No, the heated floors are electric. They're DC. Here along the side of the coach on both sides is our blind spot detection system. So there's 3 of these radar modules mounted down the side of the coach. This is the mid one. There's one in the rear. There's one at the front entry door, and the same on the other side. So that has displays that are on the center windshield post and the driver windshield post. When there's an obstacle or car, it detects about a lane width. Those indicators will come on to alert you that there's something along the side of the coach. It starts to get you about 20 feet behind the coach, so it also would aid with a tow vehicle back there as well, right up to the entry door in the Prevost service door on the driver's side.
I'm noticing the floating center caps. Is that a standard option on the Liberty coaches?
Yep, it's standard equipment on all our coaches, you bet.
Yeah, the only one in the motorhome industry doing that. And this bedroom slide, this has got to be like close to maybe 8-10 feet. How big is
long.
this?
This is 40 inches longer than the standard size slide. This has been what we've been doing standardly on the coaches now for a good couple of years. This gives us the super suite in the bedroom, which you'll see when we go inside, and they're both the same on either side of the coach.
And then I also noticed the paint job goes through the perforated vinyl in the windows, so we're not seeing the windows. Is that a standard option?
Yes, the vinyl painted graphics on the coach, that's part of the package that we do with Dean on the windows on the rear slides. Yep.
And then when they get into the Artist series is when we start to see that perforated vinyl on the front windows as well.
Per the customer's choice.
Yes, sir.
Passenger side service bay for the engine. We've got our stainless steel storage box that we make here for storing hoses, filters, whatever you want to store back in this area. Trailer power. This is a 220/30 amp outlet here so that you could plug a trailer in or some other device when you're parked. It's not meant to be utilized driving down the road. This is the starboard side shore power inlet. So if you had a regular 50 amp cord, you could plug the coach in here. If you didn't want to use the cord reel or something else was wrong, sometimes in our shop, we'll use this as opposed to the cord reel so we don't dirty up the cords. Just another option for powering up the coach.
Yes, or depending on where your power source is, that could be very convenient.
Correct. We have the Volvo D13, 500 horse, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque, polished belt guard that we manufacture to cover the belts and the pulleys. Some people opt to have it on, some people opt to have it off. It's just a personal preference. There's two 10 kW alternators back here, as well as the compressor for the air conditioning for the driver's area and the passenger compartment. This coach has the electric fans. The electric fans have been a standard part of the Prevost chassis now since our 2020 model year coaches. Great on fuel savings, less vibration than the past direct drive units that were there. System has been pretty much fail-safe, I would say. It's flawless,
yes,
for
sir.
Another term, as far as usability. The engine part of it has been terrific for us for a number of years. You know, the one thing that you find when we were up at the Prevost 100th anniversary as well, when you're going through the factory, the amount of time and effort that Prevost puts into building the coach, engineering the coach for the long haul, for serviceability. That's one thing that you get beat into you when you're there. When you're building on a coach like this, the millions of miles pretty much a day that these coaches are driving down the road. When you're 100 years into this, as Prevost is, they've got a lot of coaches running down the road on a daily basis. So the serviceability aspect of these coaches is paramount.
You mentioned earlier two 10 kW alternators. That's very beefy equipment. Is that something standard from Prevost?
No, that's standard with Liberty Coach.
And
yeah, that has to do with our Volta 58 volt house battery system.
Some may say that's overkill. Is there a reason that you've got such big alternators?
Well, when you're driving down the road and you can run 3 air conditioners at one time, you know, you've got other equipment that you can run also going down the road because we have 3 5,000 watt inverters on board the coach. You need power to replenish those battery packs, so that's why we do that. It also brings those battery packs back up to full charge at a very short period of time. So if you're driving down the road and you're at, say, 25% of charge, you could be back at 100% of charge within 3 hours of driving down the road. So that's unheard of.
Yeah, and a lot of people, wonder about the cost of these coaches, and I think there's a lot of equipment that Liberty Coach puts in there that helps command that premium. But this Liberty Coach, as it sits without the Artist Series paint job, what is roughly the MSRP on this coach?
You're just going to be under probably $2.9 million.
Yes, sir, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't see. We see the Dean Lau paint job, but there's also a lot of other equipment that Liberty builds in to command that premium.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fifth bay here on the driver's side, which our signature look, where you've got the stainless steel fresh water tank, which is polished. Got a stainless steel cap cover on the holding tank here. Our gray water bypass system, air operated, and then air operated dump valve here. You can dump the holding tank on a Liberty Coach on both sides. So we have the driver's side as well as the passenger side dump. You can fill fresh water from both sides as well. This side happens to have the 100-foot hose reel. So you've got manual pull out and then electric retract. Hose washout hand sprayer here as well for cleaning out the sewer hoses. Sewer hoses are stored here.
Very timeless, classy plumbing bay. And as I'm standing here, standing straight up underneath this huge bedroom, slide room, and that's one of the big advantages of the H3 is the higher floor here. Why does Liberty Coach choose to convert the H3 platform rather than the X platform?
With the amount of coaches that we build per year, we have so many different options for double slide, triple slide, quad slide on the H, plus the positioning of the slides as well, the floor plans. The 9660 change as well, which incorporated the new front cap on the roof, the new rear cap as well on the roof and the dash. The resources to be able to do that, none of that stuff is interchangeable to the X3. So then you'd have to go ahead and build a whole new setup for the X3 as well, which we don't build that many X3s, or we don't build that many coaches overall to warrant doing all that. So, you know, in the future, could there be? Sure.
How many Liberty Coaches a year are you building?
We build right around 12, maybe one more, one less. It just depends on production, because certain coaches in production might have more involvement on the interior, custom nature, custom things that had to be designed or have to be designed, so that may take some more time.
With the backlog that you currently have, you're about a year and a half out right now. Is there a reason that you don't ramp up and start building 20 or 30 coaches a year?
It's a little difficult. Labor is difficult to get the quality that this coach has in it to be able to ramp up that quickly to be able to do that. It's a challenge.
And your family's been in business building coaches for over 50 years now. Have you always been building around that 12 coach a year number?
No, many years ago we were up in the 40s when we were building coaches that were very standard, if you will. Then we went to coaches that had more equipment in there because everybody was wanting more equipment or coming back and adding. Then we were at about 28 units a year. We started getting more and more involved as far as more interior component, more design components on the inside. This started adding hours to the coach, so then the amount of coaches we're building were cut down as well. So we've been in that 12 to 14 range now for a number of years.
So you're going for quality over quantity?
Absolutely. The driver's side fuel door, so you have the locking door for the diesel fuel and also for DEF. As opposed to other units that are out there, the Prevost has the DEF and the fuel located in the same area. So you can just pull right up to the fuel island. They have DEF, they have fuel. You can go right to it here, as opposed to having to move the coach or crawl underneath something or open up a bay, what have you, to do DEF. It's all done right here. DEF capacity can get you from New York to LA with one tank. When I stop and fuel, I typically top off DEF anyway because it's right there.
And with that huge fuel tank, you could put down a lot of miles without having to stop for fuel.
Exactly. Fourth bay here, this has got our storage tubs here. This can be configured as a closet if you wanted to. It could be a smaller closet with storage bins. There's a few different options as far as we have here. Generator, got our 12.5 kW Onan unit here in its own hush box, as well as the unit has its own hush box as well, so we're super quiet all the way around on that. Second bay driver's side, we have mainly our electrical architecture here. Stainless steel box here is our transfer switch for transferring power from generator shore to inverter power. We also have the automatic starting system for the generator. That system was designed in our shop by us in 1984, so we've been doing the auto starts on the generator for quite a long time. This also is the brains back in here for the Volta 58 volt lithium ion system. As I mentioned before, 3 5,000 watt inverter units. Those units can be stacked, so you can actually power 220 volt equipment from those inverters, so you can run the washer dryer, you can run the Mealy microwave convection oven off the inverters as well. So there's a lot of equipment that can be run on the battery packs without having to run the generator, and controlled by the flat panels that are back here as well.
3 5,000 watt inverters. I don't know anybody else doing that level of equipment. Some may think that that's maybe overkill, or is there a reason that you're building so much more equipment than some of the other motorhome companies out there?
Well, we have the capacity to do it. Might as well be able to use it. There's a lot of equipment that can be run on inverter power going down the road without having to run the generator. So a lot of people realize they aren't even using the generator a lot at all. You know, we have coaches come in on trade and the generator hours are very, very low. The big bonus there is to be able to run the 220 equipment. We have an enormous amount of energy here that we can utilize to do that, as well as running air conditioning at the same time.
And I can imagine the cost of those 258 volt battery packs. What is the lifespan of those battery packs, and is there a replacement cost when it comes time to replace those?
There's replacement costs with them. The entire package coming to us is somewhere around $90,000 as we get it in the door. Longevity wise on it, we've been doing it now since 2016. We've got coaches that are still out there running with those packs.
You've been really leading the industry with the lithium technology. When was the first time you started implementing lithium technology into the coaches?
We started doing it in 2010, was the first unit. All of our 2011 coaches on up have had lithium-ion battery packs in it.
Almost 15 years, and I think everybody else in the industry is starting to move over to lithium as well. So I'm sure you've learned some lessons learning about lithium over the last few years.
No question.
So, yes.
You know, how we had to redesign the automatic starting system for the generator to be done on state of charge as opposed to battery voltage, because lithium-ion technology runs pretty flat and then it falls down. So you can't just catch it on voltage, you have to do it at a state of charge. So a lot of that technology had to evolve to be able to work with that system. So we had to make those changes as well. So yeah, there was a lot of learning curve that went in with it for sure.
And we see the automotive industry really going in that direction. So I think this technology is definitely here to stay at this point.
Yep. So again, in here, DC circuit breakers here. These DC breakers go to the individual Maritz Octoplex DC circuit breaker panels. They are electronically programmed circuit breakers in those boxes. So we have distribution to those individual boxes as well. And those circuit breakers that are in those individual boxes are programmed from 1 amp to 30 amp. If we need to make a change in the system, we can easily reconfigure a circuit breaker without having to rewire or do whatever inside the coach. It's pretty sweet on that part. The other thing is this coach has essentially only 6 fuses in it. The rest of the system, again, is on the ECB or the electronic circuit breakers. So there's a flat panel that's inside the coach. If you have a breaker that trips, the flat panel is going to tell you that it's tripped. You can just go ahead and reset the breaker there without having to get out wiring sheets and pulling out stuff out of cabinets and panels and what have you to find a fuse. So it makes the system a lot easier to troubleshoot and a lot easier to fix.
Yes, sir.
This is the other side of the first bay, our pass-through bay. So this side we don't have any hanging drawers or anything, so you have quite a bit of height in here for storage. Amp for the driver's stereo system. On the ceiling, we've got control boxes for the air conditioning systems that are on the roof of the coach. You have the Prevost slide controllers that are in here, so all of the slide rooms are controlled inside this box here, as well as the air seal system for the slide rooms too, the bladders. So all of that is controlled by that too.
Are these slides built by Prevost?
Yes, all are built by Prevost and installed by them as well. So we have really only one source that we need to deal with. When we have challenge, shell, issue, anything like that, we have Prevost. You don't have to be going to a third party regarding the slides.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense, you know, having Prevost as your source for the slides. They build the shell, building the slides as well.
Yep. Around the front of the coach here, this is the new 9660 Prevost chassis, so it's got a more sloped look to the front end. Kurt designed, my brother, the cap for the front as well as the back of the coach. This enhances the fuel economy of the coach as well. So all of that was designed to keep that thought in mind. Our front end treatment was designed by Kurt as well. The Liberty logo being illuminated. The new headlight system, all LED, is really advanced. We also have the frunk, which is a service area to get to the dash blower system, as well as the synchronous motors for the windshield wiper. Previously on the Classic, you had to go in through the dash area, so that made that challenging as far as the different designs that you could do in the stairwells as well as the dash itself. So now that we have the accessibility here, we have more availability for design. The front bumper still comes down as one piece, but it's in 3 different panels. So if you do damage, a panel can be replaced as opposed to having to do the whole bumper cover. This coach has the E-mirrors and the standard mirrors. I've driven coaches with the E-mirrors this past summer. I did about 400 miles going from Chicago up to Petoskey and tried to use specifically the E-mirrors all the time. They are really nice. There's a lot of view that's available on there, especially different lighting conditions. They really work out well. well. And they also have lines that come up when the turn signals are on to delineate where the drive axle is, where the rear bumper is, where it's safe to move back in. So there's a lot of advantages to that system. It's really sweet.
Yes, sir, and I've heard at night it makes a huge difference for visibility. And on the front end of this coach, I've got to compliment the paint job that comes through the front end with the classic Liberty Coach colors, white, black, and gold. Is that kind of the classic Liberty Coach colors?
Kim pretty well put the colors together on this to try and tie into what she was thinking on the interior as well. So I think that's where this all came together.
Yeah, just a stunning package outside and inside. But I think the viewer is going to really like the interior. Can we take a peek inside?
Absolutely, let's do it.
As soon as you open the door, this entryway is totally different than what we've seen in the past.
The entry stairs here have the appearance of being floating, so they're backlighted or underlighted as well. So this is a really cool appearance coming up, and then follows all the way through to the new other features in the coach as well.
Yes, sir, and I had to really just stop and just kind of take it all in, because it almost plays like a visual trick on your eyes with the way it floats, and then with all of the mirrors here that reflect, and then that indirect lighting, just really a cool design. The Liberty Coach team knocked it out of the park.
Kurt did a lot of work to be able to put this together, and Kim did as well. The final outcome here is really special.
Really sets it apart from any other entryway in the industry.
Yep.
And then also here, the front door, we've got indirect lighting, so much stitching, so much detail work just in this front entryway.
Well, it was part of all the new design on the 9660. When Kurt did the whole dash from the driver's cockpit all the way to the entry door, the steering wheel cover, the bonnets, all of the stitching that's in there, the design of the stitching, the color of the stitching, you can pick all of that out independently. So all of that flows to the final design.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Well, Frank, when I thought you guys couldn't step it up anymore, you continue to add features that just really take it to the next level. And this has a totally different feel than we've seen in some other coaches.
For sure. Yes, this system was all put together and designed by my brother Kurt and his wife Kim. Kurt, as we know, runs the manufacturing facility up in North Chicago. Kim does all the interior design. Kurt does all the floor plan design, cabinet design, interior engineering. So this all came together. We were just blown away by what they did. We saw this first when it arrived in Canada in Quebec City. This is a contemporary linear LED paneled ceiling. All the traditional round LED downlights that we had previously have been replaced with the LED lighting strips. All the air conditioning ducting system paneled in the ceiling here. Air conditioning comes out on the sides. We're really excited with how this all turned out. Cabinetry, we don't have any handles on the uppers here. It's an option. The doors that are in the coach here are soft close, and so are the drawers under mount with soft close. So that was all done on this coach also as much as possible. The design side of here is way over the top.
And is this going to be the new standard Liberty Coach ceiling, or is this an option?
Right now it's not the standard ceiling. Now it is an option. It does have a cost associated with it. I don't know if we're going to be putting this in standardly on future coaches or not at this point.
Yes, sir. You guys are always thinking a way to push the industry to the next level. And I'm also noticing in this coach, this is a different style booth. A lot of the Liberty Coaches have more of a bar style seating here. What's going on in this area?
Well, we wanted to do something different in the coach as a spec unit for us, to do an L booth, because we've done so many with the bar, just to see how it would go over. It went over really well. This booth is made by Liberty Coach, so it's custom made by us. We don't buy it from anybody else. The table does slide in and out electrically, plus it has the swivel top to it as well. So there's some really nice design features to it. A drawer underneath for storage also. The whole design works better with us building it as opposed to buying something in the market to put here.
Yes, sir, and just so many subtle touches, like the material on the table with the colors that tie in together with all of the other colors. Kim has just knocked it out of the park with the design.
It's amazing, there's no question. Her design talents are incredible.
And then coming to the front of the coach, we've got the single recliner here. In the past, we saw a lot of the 2 recliners, but this is a very nice, almost an office slash relaxation area.
Right, so this is our extended galley layout. So we have a longer galley here and do a single chair with a desk cabinet arrangement. So many people were not using this forward chair that would be in the living room and just swapping it around so that, you know, it would look like it was still being used. It's more of a catch-all. So when we started going into the super slide units, because of the slide configuration and layout, then okay, we could extend the galley here, make a single chair, get more storage here, more space utilization, and it's gone over very, very well. I think pretty much most all the coaches we've been building here in the recent year have had this arrangement.
Yes, and with that waterfall countertop, just all ties in together so well.
Sure does. Desk arrangement here, got a pull-out table. And then down in here, we've got area for a printer. Audio video processors is in this location as well. Then you have storage here, and also back in here as well.
Yes, sir, and I know a lot of Liberty Coach owners are still working on the road, but I'm very impressed with the versatility of this space because it can kind of turn into an office and then you can close it up pretty quickly and it doesn't seem like it's an office space.
Exactly, and it becomes part of your living area then. So the recliner is a new style unit as well. It's electric, so electric recline, electric on the footrest also. Very nice, very comfortable as well.
Yes, sir, and is there sleeping in the salon at all?
Yeah, this couch here goes down to a bed electrically, so it jackknifes down to about a full-size bed as far as sheets, what have you.
Yeah, very effortlessly. You just press this button, very simple.
Yep, very easy.
Easy to use. You're not jacking around with, you know, trying to move it manually. And even the pillows and all of the design cues, really a beautiful coach. So you have guests and need a place to sleep, very easy. And then when it's time to go back to a couch, just press a button.
Some people also use that to recline the couch slightly and use the ottoman as a more comfort seating as well.
Yes, sir, and I don't see any TVs here in the salon.
TV comes down in the front overhead. It's a 55-inch unit that comes down.
You would never think that there's a TV up there. It looks like just a flush ceiling.
Right, so with the 9660, because of the fact that we have a flat roof now, when Kurt designed the front end of the coach, this whole area looks like it's part of the living room now. So it also makes the whole living room area look about 4 feet longer, if not bigger.
Yes, sir, and then when that TV comes down, you still have very easy ingress and egress.
Absolutely. We were able to get the TV to swing a little larger angle. With doing that, then it makes it easier coming in and out of the coach.
Coming up to the cockpit area up here, I'm very impressed with the stitching. We've got a newer pattern. I think we've seen this on one other coach, I think maybe 910, with a different color, but in this lighter color, just really looks great.
Again, this was all designed by Kurt. From the driver's side all the way over to the entry door. We have steering wheel cover. We've got the 12-inch iPad Pro unit here that controls the entire coach inside and outside, as well as a separate page for driving. So you've got your cameras here as well. Pioneer AM/FM radio, which is also Apple CarPlay or Android Play as well. So we have a clamshell device here to snap your phone into, which is a charger base, and you can AirPlay over here for navigation. We have a separate center pillar monitor here, which is an option on the coach as well. This could also be a Garmin display if somebody chose as well. These are the e-mirror displays, so when you're driving down the road, you're not having to, you know, look all the way over to the other mirrors. You've got the whole view of the side of the coach, also the back with the iPad here or with the display above. Blind spot detection system indicators here that are on either side of the center post and the driver's post. All of the switching and what have you is very easy to get to, very well documented as far as what the switch actually does. The number of switches are reduced on the 9660 compared to what they were on the Classic and past units. Air conditioning system here for the driver and the passenger area is located here. This coach now with the 9660 has a button start. So you have a key fob, switch, and a button start similar to your newer cars that we've had for a while. They move the parking brake controller to here as opposed to being back here. So it's a lot easier to get to, a lot easier to actually control. I mentioned before on the outside about the windshield wipers being synchronous motors. So we now have many more options as far as intermittent, mist control as well. Here we also have the transmission retarder control is located here. There's a lot of different functionality here on the steering wheel controls, the multifunction display here. Air supply for the air conditioning system at the driver is more up at this level here as opposed to the Classic unit. The Classic was down here at this level, so now we have more air coming up toward the driver's head. We also have air conditioning, venting, and heat over here for the passenger as well, which is a new feature on the 9660. The leveling system is located here. This is a valid unit. This unit here controls all 4 of the leveling valves that are on the coach. The Classic unit had 3, 1 in the front, 2 in the rear, 1 on the left rear and 1 on the right rear. Now we have 4, 1 in the driver's side front, passenger side front, driver's side rear, passenger side rear. So there's more flexibility now on the leveling system also.
I'm noticing another panel here for the passenger co-pilot.
That could be for a separate Garmin unit also. It could also be an iPad mini. Depends on what people want to do.
Yeah, then coming back to the galley area here, what type of equipment? Cooking, I see a Keurig.
We got a Wolf oven here, induction cooktop, Mealy microwave convection oven unit here. You've got a Keurig coffee maker that's located here. We have a lot of storage, drawer storage in the coach. We also have utilization around the drain of the sink that has been designed and put in every coach that we build now. We have the trash drawer as well as storage for the extra bags here too, storage below. You'll notice that all of our drawers have a lining to them, keeps them quieter. Down here, people will keep their cleaning supplies, that type of stuff. So if you get something to spill, it's a lot easier to clean that material than it is the material that's in the drawer. So we try and keep up to speed on that type of thing because of the fact that we have so many coaches that come back into us on trade, and we'll see those types of things. So let's just go ahead and make it easier all the way around.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And one of those things that Liberty Coach does to make life easier is we all need paper towel. And you guys have been doing this for quite a while now. So you can see up here, there's a compartment for the paper towel, and then it just comes right out of the cabinets there. Out of sight, out of mind, but always there when you need it.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. And we have storage, everything is lighted. Again, throughout, all the cabinets are lighted inside. Dinette overhead cabinet here as well. Got lighting, and everything is, again, soft close.
Yes, sir, and very bright lighting inside of the cabinet. Every cabinet door that we open, everything is well lit.
It's a feature that we've done for a very, very long time. It's a lot more convenient for people so they can see, obviously, what's inside the cabinets.
Yes, sir.
It's been inherent for Liberty Coach. Right here, this is something new. This is a vertical batten that's backlighted as well for the feature on what we call the ETR wall, with the enclosed toilet room wall. So we've got that here, which is really kind of a neat design, especially at night, and it really looks cool.
Yeah, very, very sleek, very modern design, but also timeless. Really nice touch.
Pantry, nice rollout system here. Refrigerator. Again, as we pointed out, you don't even really know it's there. It's a Fisher-Paykel unit. Refrigerator up here, freezer drawer below with the ice maker. Design feature on this door is the miter that you can see in here that was done. A lot of time involved in doing that. Solid door again. Nice lighting in the bathroom.
Yeah, fully upholstered with the stitching just over the top. I don't think have we seen that in a Liberty Coach before?
We've done a couple of upholstered panels. This one has got a lot more design characteristic to it for sure.
The Jack and Jill doors here, so you can enter the water closet from either the bedroom or the salon.
Exactly. We have an air door here that divides the coach. Shuts that down. You know, it's funny, when Denise and I, my wife, are using a coach, a lot of times we'll keep this door closed and we'll transition through here to keep this area private. Most of the time we're on display as far as the coach, so this stays open most of the time. But at any rate, that's one way people like to use the coach as well. Countertop area here, how this all flows together. I mean, you know, you see how the grain of it comes down all the way along. This whole feature has been very, very well received, the way the whole system is designed. You get in here, brush your teeth, there's room, you know, to move around. Nice cabinet storage in here as well on either side.
Beautiful tile backsplash that really complements that upholstered wall. Coming back into the super suite, I'm noticing
Yeah.
some new design cues as well back
so
here.
the vertical batten arrangement was done here as well. We have it on the dresser face as well here, and then all the way back to the rear vanity door. And then we have the backlighted battens here as it was on the ETR wall.
Now, across from the water closet, what do we have going on in
This
here?
is the washer dryer, Bosch washer dryer unit, yep. And then we have the big closets on either side of the passenger side slide. So we've got mirrors on either side of those as well.
Full-length mirrors, so when you're getting ready, you can see front, back, full outfit.
Drawer storage. And then we have the hamper up here in the front one.
Yeah, very large hamper as well.
Nice drawer area here, lots of drawers. Storage above on either side of the TV as well. Big closets on either side of the bed also, and also real nice deep drawer for storage.
And this coach being a triple slide, even when the slide rooms come in, it's very easy to access
Yes.
your closets. Can you still walk around the bed?
No, you cannot. You'd have to go over the bed, but you can still get to these two closets, and then of course you've got the toilet room here in the middle.
And I've got to compliment the ceiling and the lighting as well. That linear lighting goes all the way through the coach.
Air conditioning system as well is the same as in the front, so we're pretty excited about how this has all turned out.
Timeless Liberty coach design, but it feels a little more modern.
Yeah.
Just the woodwork in the ceiling of the slide room here, just incredible detail, incredible lighting. A lot of refinement goes into these coaches.
There's no question. When you're in the coach and living it, when you're looking around at it and you spend some time in it, there's so much detail that we do in the coach compared to anybody else. And it's hard to just pick out right away when you're just walking through it. You almost have to live it, you know?
Every time I come into Liberty Coach, I start to notice little subtle details like, you know, that indirect lighting here, more indirect lighting on the slide room face, indirect lighting around the countertops, and then the flush wireless charging on both sides of the bed that match the countertops. So you're not looking at like a, you know, rubberized area. It's just very smooth, very sleek. And then we've got a large control panel here.
iPad there, restaurant control back here. Safe is located on the face underneath the bed, and we have the king size bed back here then as well. The other upgrade or change that was made in this coach also was doing the niche in the rear vanity area. An upgrade people can do and look at as well. It's kind of neat. Some people still like to have, you know, it flush instead of the niche, but it can be done either way. Gives you a little bit more storage area, more depth design to it as well. So it was very well received when we all saw it.
Great spot for some hand towels or some decor pieces, and the way it matches that countertop and then ties in with all of the other design cues, just a very nice touch.
Yep. It's subtle. Some people wouldn't even sometimes see it, but you know, now when you sit and look at it, it gives you a really cool depth look to it.
Well, and from a user perspective as well, just having a little more storage always helps.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nice size shower. We talk about this a lot. We probably have the largest shower that's in the industry. I'm a tall guy, you're a tall guy.
Yes,
We
sir.
can get in here, there's a lot of room to move around. The shower pan is a stainless steel pan that we weld up in our shop. So there's no way water is going to be able to get out of the shower over many, many, many years. We then also have rock wall that we put on the walls of the shower before the tile is done, so the whole system is sealed. So again, we've talked about this in the past. When you get into other coaches that are older, you can smell that, which in a Liberty coach, that's not going to be anything that'll ever happen.
Yes, sir. When we walk through the pre-owned Liberty coaches, they just hold together on another level. It's incredible. Even, you know, 10, 15, 20-year-old Liberty coaches, how well they hold together. But on that note, you offer a lifetime workmanship warranty to the original owner of a new Liberty coach.
That's correct.
I don't know anybody else in not only the RV industry, but the automotive industry or marine industry. I've never heard of anybody else offering that. What all does that entail?
Well, it basically covers what we build. So, for an example, if there's an issue with the countertop, if it cracked or whatever and it's not abused, it was some way that we installed it, that's going to be something that we have to deal with. That's our problem. If there's a component that was installed in the coach and we installed it improperly, then that's going to be something that we would take care of as well. So the individual components have their own warranties, plus we have a warranty that covers everything also, but then the workmanship part of it is an extension of that.
Yes, sir, and you've said it before, no squeaks and rattles for the lifetime of the coach. And I know the late Charlie Daniels had a Liberty coach that he bought new, and I think it was over 2 million miles, and he was still having it serviced by a Liberty coach.
Absolutely.
Do you have a log of what your warranty cost was on that coach? Did you guys lose money on that deal? Or
I have no clue.
2 million miles under warranty, unheard of. An incredible testament for Liberty coach.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Back in here is where our electrical componentry is for all the audio video, Crestron control, Starlink. This coach has Starlink on it. It does not have DirecTV. It does not have satellite dish at all. It's all done through streaming. So that's cleaned up a lot of the stuff in here as well. If somebody wanted to add it, of course it could be added. We're finding that a lot of customers are moving away from it and going to streaming specifically. In this one closet is then located the 5G data units for cellular. So we have that tied then to the Starlink as well. So depending on, if you're inside a building, the cell system takes over. If you're outside, then it's going to be Starlink.
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of complicated stuff going on here, but the ability for us to be able to remote into the coach, for the customer to be able to get notifications from the coach as well is well enhanced because of the two systems.
Yes, sir, you're always evolving, and we like to hear that they're transferring over to streaming. They're watching more YouTube these days.
That's nice.
Yes, sir. Well, Frank, it's an absolute honor to see the latest and greatest here. Now, is Liberty Coach going to be building another show coach because this coach is spoken for?
At this point in time, I don't think we'll have the opportunity to do it until we get into 2026. So through 2025, we're all spoken for on those units, but we'll see what happens here in 26.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing some of these new features implemented in some of the newer Liberty coaches coming out soon. Now, if someone's a serious and qualified buyer and want a coach immediately, what's your current pre-owned inventory?
Right now, we've got 8 units in inventory between coaches that we own and consignment units. We've got a good selection of inventory, not only in here at Liberty Coach, but at the Motorhome Exchange as well. You can go to the motorhomeexchange.com and see the inventory that's there and get a hold of Dave Wall. Here, you'd go to libertycoach.com. You can see the inventory that we have. Jump right onto the website from there and email in, or come off the website. It'll email in to coachsales@libertycoach.com, or you can call 800-554-9877.
Yes, sir. And I know the pre-owned Liberty coaches don't have that lifetime workmanship warranty like the new ones do, but what are some of the advantages of buying a pre-owned Liberty through Liberty Coach or the Motorhome Exchange?
Well, it's our PDI that we do. No other company is going to go through a used coach like Liberty Coach is going to. Our PDI list is some 275 points that we go through. Probably takes us a good 3 weeks to put a coach through the shop for PDI, depending on the year model of it. But when we get done with it, it's going to be very, very well done. And we touch on everything, basically. We go through the coach real specifically and make sure that all the systems are working the way they're supposed to.
Yes, sir. I know you and your team have the highest level of expectation, so a lot of value in purchasing through Liberty Coach here. And then to custom build a new Liberty Coach, you said mid-2026 delivery date if someone was to put a deposit down today.
Right, exactly. We're looking at doing spec out now on a coach here coming up in the next couple of weeks, which will end up being delivered later in 2025. When we look at build time, when you look at paint with Dean and then getting the coach back in the shop and putting it all together, you're probably looking at around 8 months.
Yes, sir, that's understandable. And if someone wants to purchase a pre-owned Liberty Coach or custom order a new Liberty Coach, who should they get a hold of?
You can get a hold of me, but the easiest way to do it is to go to coachsales@libertycoach.com, and then as soon as we get that, then we'll go right ahead and get all your information and see what you want to do. Or you can call in 800-554-9877.
Yes, sir, we've seen a few coaches that just came in, some great opportunities for folks right now.
Absolutely.
Well, Frank, we greatly appreciate your time and the opportunity, sir.
Thank you.
Also greatly appreciate all of you out there subscribing. We hope you're all having a great day.
Hey, thanks for watching. Keep the comments coming too.